So from this chapter of heredity only, we'll be preparing first of all the questions, the genotypes of some of the characteristics, and then we'll be coming to the questions, right? Constructing of the crosses. Just a second, Riddhi. So let us construct the genotypes of the few characteristics, right? First of all, simply saying, I'm a bit revising this also, that simply saying homozygous and heterozygous, two types of the conditions we have done, that is a homozygous dominant and the homozygous recessive. We have studied the two conditions of homozygous dominant and homozygous recessive, and also we have studied the another third condition, that is of heterozygous condition. So when it is homozygous, we say homozygous means it is the two factors of a pair of a trait, they are the same, alphabets are same, dominating. If we are writing it for tall, we say it is capital T, right? It is the same factors that they are there. And for the recessive, it is again the same, homo means same. So it is the recessive, same, which is signified by small t. But when we are writing the capital T and small t in homozygous conditions, they simply mean their own character. यहाँ पे सिर्फ उनका अपना ही character आता है, that is the tall character as the phenotype, and here it will be dwarf character as the phenotype. Clear? For the heterozygous condition specially, heterozygous is when in a pair of the factors, the two are different. That is the pair of factors, the two of the genes, the two of the factors, they are different. Capital T and small t. So if it is capital T, small t, which expression will be seen? It is the one of the dominating one. Capital T will express itself and the small t gets suppressed. So from these three conditions which we have studied from the Mendel's laws, we have studied that from these three conditions, it is only one condition when the recessive character is possible, and that is homozygous recessive condition. Okay. The character which is a recessive character, that is dwarfness, it was a recessive feature. So recessive feature will only and only express when it is homozygous recessive. But the dominating feature, that is tall feature, can be expressed in two ways, either heterozygous or homozygous. So when you are constructing the genotypes of any characters, when you are constructing the genotypes for monohybrid or for the dihybrid process, you will be looking onto these three conditions also. For example, let us talk for the monohybrid process ke liye. Simple, if we are to write the possible genotypes of a parent having the round seeds. Okay, write down the genotype for this and tell me what is the answer. Raise your hands for your answer. You have to provide the genotype for a parent having the round seeds. Yes, Pramod. Just a second. हाँ जी बच्चे.
मैम या फिर कैपिटल आर या फिर कैपिटल आर स्मॉल आर.
हाँ, there are two probabilities, that is it can have the capital R also, because homozygous dominant में भी ये dominant feature ही आएगा और heterozygous वाली condition में भी आएगा, or it can have capital R small r. So there are two possibilities of this parent having the genotypes either homozygous dominant or heterozygous. ठीक है, तो capital R or capital R small r. That is for one feature. Similarly, if I talk about tall, it can be expressed by capital T or capital T small t. This is also going to express tall, na? Okay. But if I say provide the genotype of the parent having white flowers, what it will be? Provide the genotype of the parent having white flowers.
Small
yes.
v, small v.
Hanji Pramod.
Small v, मतलब कि दोनों ही small होंगे.
It's only one. Yes, Harshika.
Small v.
Only one probability. Only one possibility. One genotype only. Is any other possible genotype pair?
नहीं था.
Harshika,
No.
is there any possibility of any other
No.
genotype?
नहीं. Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Why no?
Ma'am, because only in homozygous recessive character, recessive pair, the recessive characteristics appear to be.
Because the recessive character can only express itself in the homozygous recessive condition. This is the reason. Okay, you will say because the recessive character, that is a white flower, is a recessive character, because the recessive character is going to express only and only in one condition, and that is homozygous recessive condition. Okay, so this is the genotype for the recessive parent, that is there is only one possibility, and for a dominating parent there are two possibilities. This was when we are to construct the monohybrid process, but when we are to construct the dihybrid process, let's say the feature says that the seeds, they are the pods of the plant, let's say pods of the plant, they are inflated. You are to speak out about the genotype of the parent having inflated and yellow pods. Yes. What will be the genotypes for inflated and yellow pods? Raise your hands. For inflated, for the parent having inflated and yellow pods. Raise your hands, be quick. Yes, Alicia, can you say the answer? Alicia? Amritpal, can you speak out the answer, please? I'm unmuting you from my side. Just click on the unmute and speak out. Anji Amritpal? You know the answer or not? Yes, Pramod. You tell me.
मैम एक तो बनेगा कैपिटल वाई कैपिटल वाई कैपिटल आई कैपिटल आई, ठीक है?
Capital Y.
एक
Capital Y.
येलो,
Yellow pods. What is the dominating feature for the pods? What is the dominating character for the pods?
अच्छा वो तो स्मॉल में कलर रह गया इसी कलर.
This is the only one problem with the students, that they don't learn that table which I have provided. You will be first learning that table. Now you can take the help from that particular notebook table if you have made it on your notebooks. You can take the help, but later on you must cram that. You must learn it by heart. Okay. You'll be getting any question, any character for constructing the crosses. So if you don't know the character, which is dominant one and which is the recessive one, you won't be forming the genotypes. And if the genotypes will be wrong, then definitely the cross is wrong. So genotype, first of all, you must be knowing that the yellow seeds are dominant. Seeds में yellow color is dominant, whereas for pods, green color is dominant. So this is the first thing. Now you are to prepare it for two characters simultaneously. First, say inflated. For the pods, inflated and constricted. We have checked out the two characteristics, that is the character dominant is the inflated one and the constrictor is a recessive one. So we know that this inflated characteristic, that which is dominant, is going to express in two conditions. Number one, homozygous dominant, and number two, it is heterozygous. ये तो इसकी दो possibilities हो गई. And what about this yellow pod? Yellow being only a recessive feature, it is going to only express in the homozygous recessive condition, that is small y, small y. It is only one condition. Now coming to the genotype of the parent having this, what are the possible, you can say, probabilities of getting the genotypes, different types of the genotypes? It can be matched with this or this as a pair, because we have to work on the two characters simultaneously. So what can be the possible genotypes? It can be capital I, small y, or it can be capital I, small y, small y. This way, we'll be constructing the genotype for two characters simultaneously. Okay. If we are having both dominating, let's say we are to construct the genotype, taking another example, be ready to form the genotypes. So let us take another example for the genotype of the parent having violet flowers with tall height. Violet flowers with tall height. Yes. Again, you are having the two features. First of all, write down their possible genotypes separately, right? And then combine them, forming the genotype of the parent with two characters, violet and tall. Yes. Raise your hands for the answers now, quickly. Anji, Chirag. Other students also participate in this giving the answers and all. Why always the same students raise their hands? Yes, Chirag, can you speak out? You people actually don't unmute yourself from your side, hai na, when we give you the command. Arshpreet. Arshpreet of 10th D. No answer? Yes, Dhruv. Okay, Alicia is also here. Alicia, yes, tell me.
Ma'am, capital V T T and capital V small v T T.
What T? Capital or small t's?
Capital.
First you said capital VV and capital TT, then capital V small v and capital TT. This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Only two possibilities?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, any other answer? Other than this, if you have any answer, yes, Amritpal. Amritpal, speak out.
Ma'am, capital V, capital T, small t.
Capital VV and capital T small t. Okay. And what next?
Capital V, small v, capital T, small t.
Yes. And these two also or not?
Yes, ma'am.
So total of 4 possibilities. Hai na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good, Amritpal. Yes, Alicia, and the others also, those who have not got the answer like this way, please note it down. How can we have so many possibilities? Look at all the characteristic possibilities. ये यहाँ पे सारी में देखो अगर आप तो capital V चारों में है, that means it will be violet, and capital T भी चारों में है, that means it will be tall. Now, what is the easy way to form these? There is nothing quite very difficult here. Looking out for difficulty. These are your answers. I am framing it on my side for myself. Okay. How will be you forming these genotypes? Easily. Violet flowers, you know, violet is a dominating feature. So being dominating, it is only possible when it is homozygous dominant or heterozygous, not with the homozygous recessive. Okay. So the two conditions for violet is these ones. For the tall, again, it is a dominating feature. It's a dominating one now over the dwarf. So you will be writing it for the two possibilities, capital T, small t, capital T, capital T. The two things. Now matching them. This possibility is there for joining with the two. Again, this one has a possibility of joining with the two. Total 4 choices are there. Now what are your results? First is capital V, capital V, capital T, capital T. This is the answer, right? Second is when you join this with this, capital V, capital V, capital T, small t. This one answer. Okay. Then the third is capital V, small v, capital T, capital T. This. And the fourth is capital V, small v, capital T, small t. This. So there is no other, you can say, choice also, no other possibility of another genotype also. We have covered all the possible genotypes. We have covered all the things that which can mix and match. And so this was the only final possibility that it can have either of these 4 genotypes. It can have either of the 4 genotypes. Okay. Now, if the question says like to construct a cross, dihybrid or a monohybrid cross, and tell about the ratios, है ना, कुछ ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है आपको, आई विल बी गिविंग यू द क्वेश्चंस आल्सो फॉर द प्रैक्टिस, बट इफ द क्वेश्चन सेज दैट द पेरेंट इज होमोजाइगस फॉर द violet flowers with tall height, then there is only one possibility of the genotype, that is the homozygous parent. Who it is? That is the one with both the homozygous conditions. If they say it is a pure heterozygous parent with the violet flowers and tall height, so if it is saying like this only, pure heterozygous, pure hybrid, then there is only one feature, that is this capital V small v, capital T small t. So depending upon the requirement of the question, you'll be choosing out which genotype will be there. Okay, when you'll be framing more and more of the genotypes and the phenotypes you'll be constructing out, then you will be more easy to perform these things, right? Now let us come to, these are some of the features. You can also try out for the other features. There is a proper table given, that is the 7 characters of the pea plant का जो table आपको मैंने करवाया हुआ है, उस table में से you can just find out any pairs, you can just make out for any pairs, like homozygous with homozygous, homozygous with heterozygous, ठीक है, homozygous dominant with homozygous recessive. आप किसी के साथ भी किसी का भी pair बना के you can just find out what will be the genotype. That is your practice. Okay. Coming to the cross construction, if we say like construct a monohybrid cross and provide the ratios. If the question is like this, construct a monohybrid cross with the parents pure for the character of flowers. Okay, with the parents pure for the characters of flowers. Pure means they are pure dominant and pure recessive. Okay, for the character of flowers. Construct this cross, monohybrid cross, and provide the ratios obtained, phenotypic and genotypic ratios obtained in F2 generation. So you will be constructing it for the pure parents. Pure parents means both pure parents, that is the pure dominant and the pure recessive. If they are giving you for the character flower, then that means you have to provide capital V, small v, right? And then work on the ratios. That is, you are to tell me now, after constructing this cross, you are to provide what are the phenotypic ratios and genotypic ratios which are obtained at the F2 generation. You are to provide this answer. What is the phenotypic ratio obtained and the genotypic ratio obtained at F2 generation? Yes, tell your answers. Raise your hands for the answers. Yes, give me the answer for phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratios. Other students, Devnoor, Diya, Dhruv, yes, Drishti, Gaganjot, Gursimran. Others are also sitting, bache. You can also give the answers if you know the answer. At least try it out. At least try it out. You will get to know what is wrong in the answer, why it is wrong. Ishnoor, Kashish, Jasmine, Kushi, Anji, Pramod. Yes, Pramod.
मैम फिनोटिपिक रेशियो है क्या, मतलब कि वो वॉयलेट इज टू वाइट फ्लावर्स की 3:1 और जो 1:2:1 मतलब कि देख लेना पे जो भी है,
होमोजाइगस डोमिनेंट, हेटेरोजाइगस और फिर होमोजाइगस रिसेसिव की, है ना?
हाँ ये
तो अब मैंने यहाँ पे आपको क्वेश्चन दिया था. इट इज गुड, राइट, वेरी गुड प्रमोद. आई गिव यू द क्वेश्चन टू कंस्ट्रक्ट द क्रॉस एंड देन प्रोवाइड दीज रेशियोज, है ना? If simply you say that there was a cross made between these two parents, pure for the violet, pure for their flower color, right? And what will be the possible phenotypic and the genotypic ratios? The cross is same as that of the capital T small t, है ना? Same है ना cross हमारा. यहाँ हमने capital T लिया था for law of segregation, यहाँ पे हमने small t लिया था. And we provided for F2 generation, we provided a fixed ratio that will remain same for all the characters. ठीक है? Now without wasting any time, because in the board paper what matters a lot is your time. Okay, if they have not asked you any cross to be constructed, then don't construct it. Okay, cross तब बनाने में हमें जरूरत पड़ेगी जब हमें उन्होंने फीचर कुछ अलग दिया होगा. अलग मतलब करेक्टर अलग नहीं, फीचर अलग, यानी एक होमोजाइगस पेरेंट को हेटेरोजाइगस के साथ क्रॉस करवा रहे हैं, दोनों प्योर डोमिनेंट्स को क्रॉस करवा रहे हैं, या दोनों रिसेसिव्स को क्रॉस करवा रहे हैं, तब हमें क्रॉस बनाने की जरूरत पड़ेगी, ठीक है। बट अगर हमारा मेन स्टाइल सेम है, वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद द प्योर पेरेंट्स एज वी डिड फॉर द लॉ ऑफ सेग्रीगेशन, तो अगर हमने सेम स्टाइल से शुरू किया है तो हमारा रेशियो भी तो सेम आएगा ना। वी नीड नॉट टू वेस्ट मच टाइम, जस्ट कम टू द आंसर, just directly hit on the answer, that is this is the proper ratio that which was obtained. Let's say phenotypic ratio, it was for violet, क्योंकि आपने वहां पे phenotypic किस किस की दी थी, आपने रेशियो किस किस की दी थी, आपने दी थी टॉल एंड ड्वार्फ की, तो यहाँ हम दे रहे हैं violet and white की, without constructing it we say the phenotypic ratio will always be 3:1. For genotypic ratio, we will say it is capital V, capital V, capital V, small v, small v, small v, क्योंकि हम T's के हिसाब से लिख रहे हैं, कैपिटल T, कैपिटल T, कैपिटल T, स्मॉल d, स्मॉल d, स्मॉल t, वो तो हमने पढ़ा हुआ है ना, तो उसके हिसाब से जब भी लिखेंगे तो it is a ratio 1:2:1. So we need not to waste our time in much of the explanation and writing it all, if until and unless they have not asked you to construct. If they have asked you, you will be properly framing it. I told you already, you'll be properly framing this whole cross by writing everything, parent, genotype, phenotype, everything, selfing, then genotype of the parent, whatsoever the which offsprings of F1 generation जो हमने मिला, या अगर phenotype मिला, वो सारा कुछ हमने लिखना है, ठीक है? Yes, रिद्धि समृद्धि, you have any doubt?
Yes.
हाँ जी बोलो बोलो बोलो। सॉरी, यस रिद्धि समृद्धि।
मैम आपने क्वेश्चन किया ना कंस्ट्रक्ट अ मोनोहाइब्रिड क्रॉस, मैम तो इसमें F1 जनरेशन के बाद भी फिनोटिपिक और जीनोटिपिक की रेशियो बतानी है।
जब क्वेश्चन ही आपका F1 का था ही नहीं, आपको क्वेश्चन मैंने क्या दिया था, जस्ट कंस्ट्रक्ट दिस क्रॉस एंड प्रोवाइड द रेशियोज एट F2 जनरेशन, है ना, तो फिर मुझे F1 की नहीं चाहिए, यू आर नॉट टू से अबाउट दैट आंसर। व्हेन यू विल बी कंस्ट्रक्टिंग अ क्रॉस, एक बेटर मेथड क्या रहता है, यू फर्स्ट कंस्ट्रक्ट द क्रॉस कंप्लीट एंड देन एट द लास्ट आंसर, जैसे अब आपको यही चीज का आंसर देना था ना सिर्फ, तो यहाँ पे आप इनको बड़ा बड़ा करके यहाँ पे लिख दो, दिस इज द आंसर फॉर यू एंड दिस इज द आंसर फॉर यू, है ना। तो कंस्ट्रक्टर क्रॉस के अलग नंबर मिलेंगे, इस आंसर को ऐसे लिखने के अलग नंबर मिलेंगे, यू विल बी गेटिंग गुड मार्क्स फ्रॉम दिस आंसर देन, ठीक है, राइट। सो जितना पूछा है, क्योंकि हमें F1 का नहीं पूछा पर उसने कंस्ट्रक्ट करने का बोला है, तो कंस्ट्रक्ट तो हमें अच्छे से करना पड़ेगा ना, F1 का भले ही नहीं बोला, हमें नहीं पूछा है ना, पर हमें कंस्ट्रक्शन में सारा कंप्लीट करना पड़ेगा, और F2 का क्योंकि उन्होंने स्पेशली पूछा था, तो हम आंसर में अलग से बता रहे हैं कि ये आंसर है, ठीक है।
ओके,
Right.
यस मैम।
So your time is also over. So we'll be meeting tomorrow, no, next week, right? So till that time, you revise your concepts, more of these, right? And we'll be giving you more of the questions for practice at home. Okay? Do follow those questions, right? Thank you so much.